to Season 2, Episode 61 of One Man's Opinion. Today I am reviewing Music Theater of Connecticut's production of Paul Rudnick's I Hate Hamlet, directed by Kevin Connors, running through February 19th at their theater at 509 West Port Avenue in Norwalk, Connecticut. I Hate Hamlet is a middling comedy about Andrew, played by Constantine Pappas. Andrew is an unremarkable television actor who, due to some notoriety from a short-lived medical show that he starred in, is given the opportunity to star as Hamlet in Shakespeare in the Park. Coincidentally, Hamlet is this summer's Shakespeare in the Park production starring Ado Blankson Wood and directed by Kenny Leon. Anyway, Andrew isn't that great an actor, he knows it. On top of that, he hates the play Hamlet and would prefer to take a television show with an asinine premise for $3 million a year than commit to playing Hamlet. Regardless, he has moved to a new apartment in New York City and is coincidentally renting an apartment that used to belong to John Barrymore when he played Hamlet on Broadway in 1922. The spirit of Barrymore, played by Dan O'Driscoll, appears before Andrew to tell him that he has been tasked to prepare Andrew to play Hamlet, and if Andrew chooses to back out, Barrymore will be stuck in the apartment with Andrew as a spirit. Meanwhile, Andrew has a girlfriend, Deirdre, played by Elena Ramos Pascullo, who has a Shakespearean role-playing fetish, but has maintained her virginity, though, and to Andrew's disdain, is saving herself for when she is ready to have sex with the right person at the right time. The motivations are fairly weak. The first act follows Deirdre and Barrymore trying to convince Andrew to play Hamlet, while the second act follows the events after opening night. In case you're wondering, Barrymore's apartment is a real place, and you can at least visit the exterior of the apartment at 132 West 4th Street in Greenwich Village. There are pictures of its interior as it currently looks online. It's a gorgeous space with a vaulted ceiling and skylights with a narrow spiral staircase that leads to a rooftop cabin and garden. According to a New York Times article, playwright Rudnick lived in the apartment in the 1980s, and it inspired him to write I Hate Hamlet. The play is funny at times. The verbal battle that leads to a legitimate sword fight between Andrew and Barrymore is hysterical. Every scene involving Robert Anthony Jones as Andrew's likely cocaine-rattled friend Gary is hilarious. Gary is the person trying to lure Andrew to LA to get him into the new television show. Lillian Klein is also great as Andrew's psychic realtor Felicia, and a scene between Lillian, the character, Andrew's ancient agent, played by Joanne Parady, between her and Barrymore, who she had an affair with when she was much younger, is actually a really tender scene. Pappas is okay as Andrew. His character isn't all that likable. He's a bit wishy-washy and also a bit misogynistic towards Deirdre, particularly when he's pushing her for sex. He does his best with the role, but of all the characters, he is the least interesting. I had seen I Hate Hamlet before, and in that production they played up Barrymore's lecherous side, and if staged a certain way, a late scene between him and Deirdre becomes sexually abusive. Thankfully, Connors went the opposite direction in his interpretation of the character and the scene, opting to go more sympathetic in how the scene is played out, giving the play much more heart, which I liked. It also gives O'Driscoll the chance to give Barrymore a bit more development along the way, from the drunken louts that he starts as to a person with an afterlife with purpose. O'Driscoll does a great job in portraying that evolution. The one major issue I have with the play, though, is Sean Sanford's scenic design. The apartment is missing the scale for an apartment owned by Barrymore. It doesn't need to be opulent, but it needs to feel large, especially for a New York City apartment. The set doesn't have the breadth or the aesthetic needed. And these were feelings that I had watching the play before I saw photos of the real apartment. This was not influenced at all by the things that I'd seen online about this place. This was thoughts that I had while walking into the theater from the first moment. Plus, there is a very weird choice in the scenic design to have the kitchen be accessed through a small hall to the upstage side of the front door. The physics of space doesn't work here. The stairs that lead up to the roof also look incomplete. Regardless of the shortcomings, I Hate Hamlet is still a funny play. It has a solid cast and it has some genuinely great moments. I also like Connor's choices in regards to Barrymore's journey, particularly in the end of the play. But I am only one man's opinion, so leave yours in the comments below. If you're interested in seeing I Hate Hamlet, I'll leave a link in the description where you can get tickets. You can support my channel by liking, sharing, and subscribing, and click the notification bell to be alerted to future reviews. My next review will be TheatreWorks Hartford's production of Queen of Basil. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Thank you for watching, and I will see you at the theater.